Welcome to Lydia's Plate. I'm a stay-at-home mom who is homesteading together with my husband and 4 kids. We do gardening, house cleaning, all the homesteading stuff, baking bread, experimenting with gluten-free foods for one of our kids, animals, and the like. So if you like that kind of stuff, stay tuned and welcome to our channel. Hey guys, welcome back to Lydia's Plate. So, fall and canning season flew by so quickly that this video never made it into the spotlight. So here we go, let's get into it. I'm making sweet green relish in this video. The first thing I need to do is get all of the cucumbers and peppers and onions finely chopped. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this by hand as it needs to be quite fine. So I'm just putting this through my little chopper and getting it all into the bowl. This first step is pretty easy, and to make relish, your work is actually broken up into 2 different days, so it works quite well. I'm also keeping track here on this piece of paper as to how many cups of cucumbers I've put in already, so that's why you'll see me running over to my paper to make tally marks to keep track of that. I didn't want to slice up too many cucumbers ahead of time, so as needed I'm just slicing up a couple more into this container. Now that the cucumbers are all done, I'm moving on to a couple of peppers. You'll only see one, but I have put 2 peppers in there, and I will include the recipe in the description box. So there we go, ready to chop again, and then soon it will be on to the onions. So here are those little onions. I'm just going to get them in there and then turn the chopper on. The chopper works so much better when I put smaller chunks into there, so that's what I'm doing here. So there we go. Now that the onions are all chopped, I can dump those in there and then mix up all these veggies together in the bowl. Now that that's done, I need to add some salt and some water and let it sit overnight. I'm trying to pour the water over in such a way that it's kind of washing the salt down into those veggies, but I'll still give it a stir, and then now it just needs a lid and it will sit. As I'm cleaning up, Cassandra's getting the lid. And there we go, now it's ready for tomorrow. So here we go the next day, and I've just loosened that lid off a little bit, and then I'm holding it quite tight just so that the liquid can drain between the lid and the bowl. Now I was trying to decide what I wanted to use next, and I'm going to use this big sieve. You'll see some of it from way over here, and then I'll move the camera in closer so that you can get a better look at what I'm doing and just how much liquid I'm shaking out, what you can expect your sink to look like. Every once in a while I'm tipping the bowl back, because a little trick that I've learned is that by tipping the bowl back and going again, the pouring width gets narrower again, if that makes any sense. I found with bowls that as you're pouring, it just goes wider and wider and wants to pour over farther and farther, and so if you tip the bowl back, then it starts pouring in a narrower width again, so that way I can do it all kind of one-handed and not spill. So here we go, I'm just scraping my bowl out, and then I'll shake this sieve a few more times, get a little more liquid to drip out, and then we're ready to get this relish cooking. Now with the light on from the range hood, the relish looks quite yellow. Well, I guess it's not quite relish yet, but the chopped veggies look quite yellow. But they are actually green, which you will see. There we go. Now with the light off, you could see they were green. But I thought maybe the light on was giving a better video. I don't know. What do you guys think? It does throw the color off, but it might help with the lighting. So I'm adding some sugar. And and then I'll add some cornstarch. And here again, a little trick I'm using so that I will have less dishes to clean up. I've dumped the sugar in here, and I'm going to put the cornstarch right on top of the sugar and then mix it together right there in the pot, instead of mixing it together in a bowl first and then adding it in. This way I only have a measuring spoon dirty instead of a bowl as well. A few more seasonings, and then we're ready to start cooking. And also some vinegar. So now right in the beginning, I need to make sure that I'm here stirring this constantly. Once I'm sure that it's all stirred in well and settled, then I can start to get a few other things ready in between. And you may find a bigger chunk in there that got missed with your chopper, but then you can just pull it out and give it a quick chop there and throw it back in. I'm going to stir this for a few minutes until it is well combined, and then I can move on to getting the rest of the stuff ready that I'm going to need for getting the relish into jars. So now with very hot scalding water, I am sanitizing my lids first so that I can get them boiling so that they're ready to go. The rubber will be all softened once I have the jars filled, and then I'll start sterilizing the jars once I have that job done. So I'm just trying to move everything over so that I'm as ready and prepared as I can be once this relish is thick enough. It's just cooking right now to get to the thickness that I am wanting for my relish, and then as soon as we're till that point, I can start jarring it up. Now there, when I was touching the buttons on the oven, I was getting the water steaming and warming in the oven because I want to steam can these jars a few minutes. And then if you watch right till the end, then you'll get to hear how quickly they pop after they come out of the oven. When you leave them to seal on their own, they can take much longer, minutes, hours, but when it's a hot liquid that I steam in the oven and take out, I can get seals within a minute or 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's very, very quick. Now here I was just showing you that I went to get a clean cloth for wiping the jars. Once I have them filled, I want a nice clean cloth for wiping around the top so that there's nothing that can get in the way of the seal between the jar and the lid. Here's a close-up of the relish, a nice green color, and it's getting nice and thick. Just the right amount of chunk and liquid. Those lids are boiling in the back there pretty well, and this relish is ready to go. Now, I couldn't decide here at first if I wanted to leave the pot on the far element or bring it closer, but I did not want to drip all across the oven and make a big mess, so I decided to move it closer. And the scoop was almost perfectly the right size. That one scoop filled the jar. I'm going to give you a close-up here where you can see kind of my technique to try to help have the least amount of spills possible. Just the amount of time that I give it to shake and drip and everything, and then just the way that it shakes a little bit, it helps kind of make that drop fall off to give you that second to be able to move your ladle over. It's not 100% guarantee, but it works well for me. There we go, the jars are all filled. I'm just going to scrape out this funnel a little bit into that last jar, and then I'll wipe them off and start getting those lids on there. And as I'm wiping these, I'm always folding the cloth over or moving it a bit so that I'm using a clean part of the cloth to wipe each jar. I may not have to move it far every time or turn it over or whatever, fold it over, but I am trying to use a clean part of the cloth every time. Now I'm going to get myself some hot water in this cup again to run water and make sure that those jar tops are well washed, and then that should do it. That should make sure that they are as clean and ready to seal as what I can possibly do. These lids are very hot, so please don't burn yourself if you're gonna can items. So in other videos I've explained this, but I'll explain it again anyways. I'm screwing these lids on just until they start to get tight, and then unscrewing them about a quarter turn. That way the steam can get in there into the rubber seal on those lids and really help to seal and make pressure so that that lid just sucks down and gets a good tight seal. So here we go. This is kind of like aerobics class for me. I'm doing squats. Here's my gym class. Go round 2. Now as I take each one out, I'm screwing it tightly shut and being very careful not to slosh the jar, tip it this way or that, because that will touch the seal again and then they won't seal. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you in some way. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, hit the bell if you want to be notified every time we post a new video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now here coming up is going to be that pop that I promised you. Thanks guys, bye!